One, go.
Hello and welcome back to another episode, I guess, of the master plan. Today, we are doing something a little bit different. Obviously, you can see our faces, but we are not live. So, this is one of the first videos that will go up on the channel. This essentially is just a mock draft that Connor and I are going to run to kind of show you. We're going to talk through our picks, who we're picking, why we're picking them, etc., etc. Um, I will have the sixth pick in the draft. Connor will have the 11th. The reason why we're doing this is because in our upcoming fantasy draft, I will have the 11th pick. Connor will have the sixth pick. So it's actually going to be helpful for each other to kind of see, what we would do had if we were in each other's situation, give us a little inspiration and stuff like that. So we're in a little sleeper draft. You obviously can see that up there
Right.
somewhere to my left. Um, and so we'll talk through who we're picking and why we're picking them. And yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, Connor, you want to start us
Yep. I
off?
will just start up the mock draft, and we can just talk through it.
Mhm.
Going one is Jonathan Taylor. I will turn off that sound. Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Cooper Cup. That leaves Michael on the
Right.
clock.
So that
You want to
leaves
tell me?
me
Don't
here.
pick. Just tell me who you pick, so I can do it with the automated one. So it
Sorry.
shows like the list of players. Just tell me who you want to pick, and I'll put it in for you.
Okay. So looking at the draft so far, four running backs have gone off the board. One wide receiver's gone off the board. That'd be Cooper
Standard.
Cup.
Standard top
Right.
five is those five. Um, I'd
Right.
say.
So yeah, I mean that is a pretty good top five. Now, to me, the guys on the board right now, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and Najee Harris, those are the top three that I've been given. Honestly, to me, I look at this and I say, okay, value wise, of the four running backs that went, those are all pretty high value running backs. And I'm looking down, and I think I'll probably be able to get a pretty solid running back in round two. And I know that Justin Jefferson's kind of an elite wide receiver. And I mean, to me at least, even though this is standard in a PPR league,
Yeah.
I would draft Justin Jefferson here anyways. So that's who I'm going to pick, Connor. I think Justin Jefferson, the clear pick here. I like him better than Dalvin Cook. Oh, for injury concerns. And Najee's been going into his second year. And there are definitely some concerns for me about that. So I'm going to take Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I think for me too, it'd be between one of those two receivers, Jefferson or Chase.
Mhm.
I think this should be a clear top six in almost every league. Those four running backs, then Cup and Jefferson. So when I'm at
The
six
order is kind of important,
in the
but
league,
this is
I would take
fairly
any
standard.
of those six guys. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd stray outside of them
Mhm.
whatsoever.
I don't know.
Justin
I don't know.
Jefferson goes to me. Then we get Devontae Adams, Najee Harris, Jamar Chase, Dalvin Cook, and you and I am on the clock.
So, I mean, I know we talked about this
Yeah,
one. I mean, based on what we've done, my prediction is you take Joe Mixon here,
yeah,
and that's exactly what I would do if I was in this
yeah.
position.
I'm for sure taking Joe Mixon. Really, my luck here going in is usually it's between Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, one of those two, and then maybe DeAndre Swift on the turn.
Mhm.
But having the ability to get Joe Mixon here is just so strong that I don't know if I can turn that down just because he to me is a top eight pick. He's a top
Mhm.
five running back. I have him my fifth,
And I think of the players available too, he is the best.
and there's definitely
Like, I think
chances
that's
that
something
Joe
very key.
Mixon drops. He obviously has some injury concerns throughout the last few years. Obviously, it's a high power throwing offense, but really, I can't turn him down. He had an incredible year, so I'm going to
Mhm.
agree with you there. I'm going to go Joe Mixon here. Then we get a CD Chubb turn. And that, for me, obviously, I can go tight end.
I think
Um,
that's a pretty good turn for you. Um, I mean, you have kind of an option here. You could kind of double up on running backs and get Swift.
Yeah.
Would be
My first thought was taking one of Diggs or Lamb,
Mhm.
but I expected Swift to go above Chubb, and Swift to me is is a top eight running back. And then I don't have to take a running back until maybe like the 10th round after this if I take Swift here.
Right. And we
Um,
talked about tight ends.
Let me just
We did
check
that podcast
check
actually
the
today.
bye week.
You don't need to worry about Travis Kelce right now. And we already talked about, we think that Mark Andrews is actually above Travis Kelce. So in this scenario, if you want to go Diggs, I think that's okay. You can
Yeah.
also go
So
Swift. It's
Cincinnati
kind
has
of
a week
preference wise.
10
Would you
bye.
rather have a wide receiver and a running back or two running backs right now?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 2 running backs just because
Mhm.
the next turn of running backs that could get down to me, obviously Zeke could, or James Conner could, but past that, I don't really like anyone past that, and there's a lot of receivers such as like DJ Moore down there that I
Mhm.
could take. So I am gonna go double up running back, go DeAndre Swift here. My other thought process, other than Diggs, would be Mark Andrews, get a top 2 tight end, and then hope like a receiver falls to me, and then hopefully I can get either Zeke or Connor in round 3, and then one of those receivers I like
Mhm.
in the 4th. But I think I'm gonna go Swift, and I'm not gonna take back for a while
Yeah.
past those 2. Next off the board, we have Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, first 2 tight ends. Then Alvin Kamara, pretty high for a suspended player. Finally,
Yep.
Tyreek Hill, and that leaves, wow, Stephon Diggs. You could double up receivers here. You could
So,
get first
right.
pick a
So in this
quarterback, Aaron
scenario,
Jones.
right. So in this scenario, to me, I was thinking, okay, I'm probably going to end up with Aaron Jones, something like that, maybe some running back. But Stephon Diggs is still on the board here, and I'm going to take Stephon
Yeah,
Diggs.
it's a strong
And
one, too.
I think this is a pick where you can't think too much about it. You can't go, hey, listen, it's 2 wide receivers. This is a time when you got to look at who's on the board and you're just drafting best available,
One
right?
interesting thing to note is both of them have a week 7 bye,
Mhm.
which is definitely something that could deter a bit. But I think
Right.
I'd agree with you.
Right. And when you look at Stephon Diggs ADP, he's a 201 player, and I'm getting him at 27.
And
So this is definitely
that's 2
great
top
value
4
right here
wide
for me.
receivers. Basically,
Yeah.
you need a
So I'm
flex
gonna
and you don't
take
got to worry.
Diggs, and I'm done with wide receivers. So I'm not taking another wide out for a while now. I got to look at running backs coming up.
All right, Diggs it is. Then we have Josh Allen, first QB, Debo Samuel, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones, Javonte Williams, Mike Evans, Zeke Elliott, Higgins, AJ Brown, Cam Akers, and you back on the board. There's one guy I see that I would take immediately at that point.
Yeah,
At
I mean, there are 2
26.
guys I'm looking at right now. It'd be Leonard Fournette and Kyle Pitts. Um, Obviously, it's interesting that Team 2 selected 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds. That's something that you probably won't be seeing too often.
So
Um,
I will say Christian McCaffrey has the points per. I mean, Christian McCaffrey has the injury concerns and can have the points per
right,
game to be a flex option. I don't hate it.
right.
Um,
Um, yeah, this is a little bit tricky. Um, for me personally, when I look at running backs who are on the turn coming back to 4-7, um,
Probably Brees Hall, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs,
yeah,
Antonio
it's
Gibson.
gonna be a little bit more dicey, I think, when with running backs. And I at least want to get one running back who I can feel some sort of confidence in. So it may not be the best pick available here,
Playoff
but I
Lenny.
think for my team, I have to go with Leonard Fournette. I like Kyle Pitts here a lot, but I'm not in love with Kyle Pitts. And I think for my team, I think that Leonard Fournette's impact will be bigger than Kyle
Lenny's
Pitts.
gonna be a beast in PPR. I have him as a top 10 running back personally in terms of what I think he'll have in terms of PPR value. I have him above guys like Najee Harris, guys like Aaron Jones, just because I think he will be very, very strong PPR wise.
Mhm.
Just because of how many dish offs he got last year from Brady. And injury concerns as well. They look to him a lot with the receivers. So I'm going to lock that in for you. Leonard Fournette. I really
Now, is
love
that the
this
pick that
start.
you were thinking I would make?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Next, we have Keenan Allen, James Conner, Patrick Mahomes, David Montgomery back on the board here.
And I think you have kind of a nice opportunity here to take Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
Um, Him or Darren Waller. I know we talked about those 2. I think we had Darren Waller ranked above Kyle Pitts. So you could
I do.
potentially take someone here and then come back and take Darren Waller. Michael Pittman's on the board here, so you could take him. I know you liked him.
Yeah, I do pay attention to buys. I had Waller and Pitts very similar. I think Pitts will still do fine. Pitts has a week 14 buy. I'd be doubling up Waller and Swift on a 6 buy, and I can get around doing a receiver with another player on a bye week, but having one of your top 2 running backs and the tight end, which makes you basically stream 2 players potentially. I'm gonna go Pitts here, lock in that tight end 3, a consistent tight end, who's gonna be probably the number 1 option in his offense. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, that's a really solid pick. That is the pick that I probably would have made there. And now you're on the turn, and we had talked about this, and I think for me, you have an opportunity here, and this is where it starts to get into. You're not just going to draft Terry McLaurin. We know we talked about this. This is a time when I would draft. If I were you, I would take Michael Pittman here. You're getting a wide receiver 1, and I like him over DJ Moore and DK Metcalf. So if I were you, that's the pick that I would make here.
Yep, I like that. Other guy I'm spotting, Mike Williams down there as well. I'm somewhat high on. I could go Herbert too. Who's a top quarterback, but I think I have to get a receiver. I don't think I'm gonna take Pittman based on my team comp so far. I kind of want more of a boom bust guy a bit, and I'm kind of choosing right now between Deontay Johnson and DJ Moore.
I think Deontay Johnson probably the better pick.
Yeah, I do like Deontay Johnson a lot, but I'm not as high on him as Michael is. So if this was the actual draft and Michael was here and had this comp, I could see you taking Johnson. I think I'm going to go DJ Moore. I think he'll be even better than he was last year with Baker. Obviously, if McCaffrey gets injured, he just explodes. And I'm going to go DJ Moore. I think he's going to be great next year. He's going to get red zone targets. I don't think Robbie Anderson is anything behind him. I'm going to go DJ Moore as my wide receiver.
I mean, those are the 2 guys I think I was deciding between. Again, I did like Michael Pittman there. And of course, Pittman and Johnson go right off the board right before I pick.
Herbert,
QB3. So now I have wide. Now at this point, I'm looking for another running back. I don't like Breece Hall. I'm not gonna pick Antonio Gibson here or Josh Jacobs. I do like Josh Jacobs here.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily need a running back 2 that soon.
Right. I'm looking here at my wide receivers for the following round. I see Courtland Sutton and Mike Williams around there. So I feel like I'm probably going to get one of those. I think here the most sensible pick is just to take Darren Waller, get myself what I would consider to be a top 3 tight end in the 4th round. When you look at Darren Waller's ADP, which is, I mean, it's got to be down there somewhere. Anyways,
it's
all I know is I'm getting
39.1 on Sleeper, which is like on the turn in 3-4 ish.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be taking Darren Waller here, lock down my tight end, and then come back next round and see who's on the board. There could be somebody running back wise that I'll look to, or not. I mean,
this would be worrisome for me in this spot. I would not want Sutton. Sutton and Williams are gone at that point. I'd be kind of in a tizzy a bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
What I think I'd do is pick Mike Williams and then in the next round hope Schultz falls.
I do agree.
I think Waller's a top tight end as well. I like that move.
Right, and I do see J.K. Dobbins and Elijah Mitchell, 2 running backs who I do like. So I'm okay waiting. I know I have my wide receivers set up, and I think Darren Waller's best pick available here. So I'm not too concerned. I feel like based on the other teams, and you look at every other team besides Team 5, they all have, or Team 1, 2, and 3 all have 2+ running backs, so they're probably not going to be drafting another running back. So I really only have Team 4 and 5 who may or probably will draft a running back.
And those running backs would be Breece Hall, Gibson, Josh Jacobs, before one of those 2 guys most likely.
Right, exactly. So I'm going through this and I'm saying I'm probably going to have a running back that I want on the board. So Darren Waller it is here.
Good pick. I will lock in Darren Waller. After Waller, we have Brees Hall, Mike Williams goes, Lamar Jackson, Antonio Gibson, Waddle, Josh Jacobs, DK Metcalf, J.K. Dobbins, and finally Dalton Schultz, and then Elijah Mitchell. And that does
So
leave
it's
Cortland
very
Sutton on the board.
interesting how Team 2 has 4 running backs. Connor.
That's something. Definitely a strategy, you know.
Maybe looking to sell. So ultimately, what happened was sleeper auto draft. Doesn't know what it's doing very well because I did not expect. Oh, I expected one of those 5 guys to be on the board, and it didn't happen.
So,
So
I think you're happy with Cortland Sutton here, locking in
and
that
I
flex
am.
option.
So I will take Cortland Sutton here. I'm very happy with that as a pick. I will need a running back next round, unless of course one is not available. But running backs tend to be boom or bust,
Yeah,
more so than wide receivers.
I don't
So I'm
value.
very happy with Cortland Sutton here. We discussed him. I believe he was on our top 20 wide receivers.
Yes, he was.
So for me, I get on our mock draft board, I get the number 2, the number 5, and the number 19 wide receivers,
And
all on my team.
I really don't hate waiting a couple rounds and having a CPAT, a Cordero Patterson, or a Chase Edmonds.
Right. I mean,
as
those aren't
your
bad picks.
running back
I
too.
do like those guys. And for me, Cordero Patterson is a um, 23rd highest ranked running back, and um, Chase Edmonds just
I think
eclipses 30. But I like both of those guys. I'm gonna take Cortland Sutton here. He's gonna be my flex for the season. My team's looking really good right now. I feel good about it.
after Sutton goes Burrow, Murray, Judy, Cooper, back to me. Board. Immediate thought process is Brandon Cooks is right there. I have him as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean,
one,
I think when I look at
solid
these
running back
guys,
two.
I think Brandon Cooks has to be the pick here. We discussed him. He is the best wide receiver right now on the board. I like him over Robinson and Brown. Had Godwin not been injured, he would have already been gone. But I think Brandon Cooks, solid option. He's going to give you fantasy points. I'd take Brandon Cooks.
Agree. Cooks here. And there's one player I'm eyeing on my turn. I'm going to try to guess that. And I am somewhat worried he could go here. But I'm going to shoot Brandon. Next, we have Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin. That leaves a guy on the board. Who do you think it is, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably going to be. I don't think it's Marquise Brown. To me, it's probably Equanimeous Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe. I'm not sure though.
I am going to go with a quarterback. I'm going Jalen Hurts here at 6'2".
That's a solid pick. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even see that.
I know that Hurts, Russ, and Brady likely don't get back to me. And that would leave me with Dak, maybe Aaron Rodgers, Stafford. These are guys I don't value. And I'd probably end up with Trey Lance later in the draft. So here, I'm going Jalen Hurts. I'm locking in my quarterback. I have Jalen Hurts as a top 5 quarterback this year. And running upside the new receivers. And I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts there. Next, we have Darnell Mooney, Dylan, Hollywood Brown, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, back to Michael. Looking at running backs, but there are some good receivers there if you want to move extra round.
Yeah, I'm probably not taking a receiver here.
Could go a quarterback.
Hawkinson is on the board.
You do have Darren
I'm looking
Waller,
at quarterbacks right now. I see Russell Wilson at 75. So, there are 3 teams that don't have a quarterback. So Wilson, Brady, Prescott, and Rodgers is there too. It's a tough position that I'm currently in right now because I do want to take a running back here. However, if I let it go when I take a running back, is a good shot that Wilson, Brady, and Prescott are off the board, which leaves me with Aaron Rodgers, which
I do think one of. I don't know if all 3 of those teams would. I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know if all 3 of those teams take.
Yeah. So, but to me, I'm okay with waiting on a quarterback. I I am a fan of Kirk Cousins, who I know isn't going to be drafted. And, while he won't be a great quarterback one on my team, I should have a fairly strong team around him. That being said, I'm looking at a running back here. That's going to be my pick. It's pretty much between Miles Sanders and Damian Harris here. To me, that pick has to be Miles Sanders. I know that Philadelphia doesn't run the ball as much as New England does, but New England runs a running back by committee, and that takes away fantasy opportunities. Adding on to that, personally, I think that Rahamondre Stevenson is more of the goal line back for the team. So I think in short yard situations, Damien Harris won't be the guy. Now, Connor, you're giving me a little.
I heavily disagree with your pick here. I would have gone for Brady and gotten either Cordero Patterson, Kenneth Walker, or Kareem Hunt on the turn. I trust
Ooh,
all
that's
three
true.
of those guys over Damian Harris and Miles Sanders
No,
as a
no,
running
you're
back
right.
too.
I
Or you
agree
could go
with you.
Russ or
Instead of
receiver,
the
but
Brady, though, I'm gonna take Wilson over Brady here. I
okay.
like Wilson's upside,
You
so I
also
am
would
gonna take
have
Wilson
the
here.
Wilson Sutton stack, which I like.
Exactly. Well,
Um,
that's the stack that you have in one of your
it
leagues.
is.
And Harris goes off the lead. Michael Thomas, Juju, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Hopkins, Gabe Davis, Miles Sanders, Tom Brady, Adam Thielen. Um,
So Dak may have gotten back to you, but I think you're happy with your Russ pick,
yeah,
and
Dak did. And I'm looking at the board. Kenneth Walker, Kareem Hunt. Cordero Patterson here is my favorite running back. I like
I
him
like
over
CPAT.
Kenneth Walker and Kareem Hunt. And I
I
think that
respect
he
that.
is running. Oh, sorry, I drafted him.
That's fine. I have CPAT and um, I have CPAT and sorry, Kenneth Walker pretty close to each other in my rankings.
Mhm.
I have Kareem Hunt over both, just especially with the news about maybe he's getting traded, maybe he holds out, who knows. But I like the CPAT pick. He was great last year. I will say late in this draft, look for Tyler Algier. Just depending on how that running back room goes for Atlanta. If you
Mhm.
end up taking CPAT. Next goes Hunt Bateman, who I was looking at. Kenneth Walker, Drake London. I am most definitely looking at a receiver here. Uh, One name that is popping out in running back is Chase Edmonds out of the guys left, but I don't think I'll go for that. I'm mostly eyeing a receiver. I'm not
I mean, you
huge
have
on
Devontae Smith sitting right there.
Devontae Smith.
Hunter Renfro, Elijah Moore.
Um, yeah, it's not an ideal scenario. Um, yeah, I was really looking at Bateman or Juju to get back to me. So I'm gonna reach on a guy here. And on Sleeper, he is down low. He is dealing with an ankle injury right now. But he's the wide receiver one. He just got paid a bunch of money. He's a good young QB. I think I'm going to reach on just a bit on Christian Kirk. But I may wait for the turn for that. Um, see what else I can look at. Dallas Goddard is here to double up tight end fast. Um, I don't hate. I don't love doubling up tight end.
Not this early, too.
I definitely could double up QB early. It's something I look at a bit. I just check what the buys match up. And I could go Dak, and that basically gives me a bunch of weeks against either the Commanders or Giants, uh, and some other poor teams.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm gonna do that either. I do like Devonta Smith. I do like Hunter Renfro, and I could just double up receiver here. I think I like both those guys above Elijah Moore. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Hunter Renfro for the touchdown upside, depending on matchup. I play him as one of my flex options, and after this turn here, I'm gonna go Christian Kirk as my other flex option.
Yeah, I
And
mean, now you have two opportunities for flex. You've really kind of fleshed your team out.
doing
Got a
that.
good lot of good options. And if this were my team, I mean, that's a league winning team right there.
Yeah, and then obviously Dak, Elijah Moore go. Now I'm taking Kirk after that. Devonta Smith, Braylon Burks, Zach Ertz, Tyler Lockett, back to Michael, who you're probably looking
Yeah,
at a flex
and so
option.
here really I have all my flexes. So, I'm kind of looking for a guy who maybe's a little boom bust. I'm looking for something that kind of catches my eye almost. Um,
Guy I'm looking at is Chase Edmonds. If you're looking at running back,
yeah, I
could
mean I
go a
am
tight
to an
end
extent.
with
And
injury
he's
concern.
definitely a running back one. Um, and so for me, I am going to take Chase Edmonds here. And the reasoning for that is obviously it's helpful to have a backup running back. Obviously, my running backs both are not top tier running backs. Both of them, they're both very good. Um, Chase Edmonds, though, he's a running back one. Um, in Miami, they have a new coach, Mike McDaniel, who's from the Shanahan system. So they're definitely going to be running the ball a lot down there, as he
One
probably did in San Francisco.
one note I want to make on does match up by with Fournette. Actually, for your third running back who only plays sometimes, you might now want to match up those buys. But it is up to you.
Yeah, I mean, buys are slightly an issue on my team, but
Could go
we're just
Pollard here. I think Pollard's a solid running back 2 option as well. And I don't think he matches up by wise. Um, that's just my thought for it. I like Chase Edmonds a lot. I would like Chase Edmonds in this spot. I don't love third running back matching up on buys with my running back one.
yeah,
That's
that
just my
is
thought
true.
process.
Um,
Could go one of the Buffalo guys. Um, Ramondre Stevenson down there on. Said you like Ramondre Stevenson better.
mhm. I mean, I'm looking at this right now, and Tony Pollard is definitely an option. Um, but I'm looking, and a bunch of these guys are probably gonna be, well, I mean,
Some
there's
will.
gonna be Melvin Gordon, but he's not that great.
You
Um,
have guys further down like Michael Carter, who still could be a running back one. James Robinson down there. Um,
yeah, I mean, it is a good point about that. I do think I have to take a running back here, though. However, um, I do like Rashad Penny a lot. I think that he's got a lot of potential this year. Um,
I like Rashad Penny as well. I'm just worried about the injuries right now.
it is, but I don't expect him to play a whole lot at the beginning of the season, especially. So I think of these running backs, I'm gonna take Rashad Penny. I like Tony Pollard, but it's just you never know what his workload is gonna be week to week. I think
I like
Rashad
that pick.
Penny's probably a little bit more consistent when he stays on the field. I feel pretty good about my team injury wise, regardless.
I thought
So I'm gonna reach a little bit here on a Rashad
I
Penny,
don't
a
think
guy
that's a
who,
reach at all.
yeah,
I
I mean,
my
he's definitely a guy who could be great.
my
So
thought process. I thought you took Kenneth Walker earlier. I didn't mention Penny, but you took CPAT last round. So yeah, I'm fine with the Penny pick. He was running back 2 in the last 5 weeks of last year.
right, I
So
think
yeah,
that Rashad Penny can do a lot. I don't need him to start week one, so it kind of works out very well.
Chase Edmonds right off the board next. Tony Pollard, back-to-back tight ends in Goddard and Knox, Devin Singletary, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Robert Woods, James Cook, Brandon Ayuk, bring back to Michael. Probably looking at a flex option. 3 wide receivers
Yeah,
at the
I
top
mean,
of the
to me,
board.
this is looking at another flex option, another backup, and I think to me, I do love Garrett Wilson, and I do love, I think that Pat Fryermuth, great backup, but I think to me, a guy who I know can be an absolute boom this year is Alan Lazard. I think that Alan Lazard can do so much this year. His targets are going to be through the roof, um, because Devonte Adams is gone. I don't need him to start every week, but this is a guy who, I mean, Connor, he could be a wide receiver, top 20 wide receiver to finish the season.
Oh yeah,
He's got that type of potential. I'm gonna take Alan Lazard here. He's gonna put up points. I know that. He's gonna get targets. I know that as well. He and Rodgers have a relationship. I like Alan Lazard here.
I like that too. I think I would have It, before a couple days ago, I would have gone Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, that Zach Wilson injury kind of turned me
Yeah,
off because Garrett Wilson, I like him better because I think he's a better wide receiver one. However, it's going to come down to the fact that Zach Wilson's out, Rogers I know is in, and Lazard is the clear wide receiver one, and he does have talent.
I like that.
In terms of buy, also, he's
14.
clean on the buy. I mean, so is Garrett Wilson, but just keeping that in mind. So I'm gonna take Alan Lazard here.
After Lazard goes Garrett Wilson, Melvin Gordon, Mike Gesicki, Pat Fryermuth back to me. Here I'm looking at my running back 3. Clear cut to me, James Robinson. He's number 1 running back on the depth chart.
Yep.
He's got to get that first, second down carry. I think they're going to use ETN more as a pure pass catcher. Though I look at the next person on the board, he has ETN, so it's very unlikely Robinson. If I was in a real draft, I'd probably take a receiver here. But sleeper's unpredictable. They might do it anyways. So I'm going to take
Right.
James Robinson just to solidify him on my team. I actually didn't check buy.
You're clean on buy.
Believe Robinson.
Yeah, I just checked.
Now we're back on the board, round 10.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have an option here. You could go really any position that you want here. One guy who I look at, who I'm looking at a lot here, 2 guys actually, would be Chase Claypool and Kadarius Toney. I think they both have a lot of potential here. You just picked another running back, so I really don't feel like you need one. You could go back up tight end, but you really don't like to do that anyways. You have Kyle Pitts. You should.
Cole Kmet matches up. If it was anyone I would take as backup tight end, it's Cole Kmet, and he matches up.
And he's matching up. So, I mean, to me, I would pick. I really like Claypool or Toney here. Those would be my picks.
I don't think I'm going to take Claypool. I'm looking at Toney. There's definitely potential for Toney.
I like him over Russell Gage. And Sky. I mean, Sky Moore is an interesting pick. Definitely could be a huge pick right there.
I'm taking any of the Kansas City guys outside of Jude. Could go Mondre, probably not. You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna take the Buffalo Bills defense. Because I know sleeper and I know defenses go around here, and I know a lot of the guys there that I like personally will be on the board next round, and getting that first defense is valuable to me, and I know sleeper is gonna start taking the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna start looking at defenses as well. My team is pretty much set at this point. I have everyone who I need. Get your defense off the board quick. So.
And take the Buffalo Bills defense, my number 1 defense. Most people's number 1 defense. Schedule clear, strong defense. Claypool, Russell Gage, Derek Carr, Cole Kmet. Finally back to Michael.
Yeah, and keeping with the theme, I'm gonna take the Buccaneers defense. They are our second defense this year. Easy to root for me as well. They're gonna be good. I'm gonna take the Bucs defense this year. Get that out of the way. Free the rest of my draft up a little bit.
After that, we got Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, Carter, Stevenson, Hunter Henry, Tyler Boyd, Isaiah Spiller, Alexander Madison, Albert O, Harrison Butker, the kicker off the board, and back to Michael.
You could go kicker here. That is an interesting thing you could do.
I don't care enough about kicker.
But I really don't think it's time for that anyways. I'm trying to find the queue. Where are all the players? Oh wow. Okay, so we're here now at
one guy I'm looking at for you is like a Dameon Pierce. Because by the time that week 11 bye comes and you didn't end up taking Chase. Never mind on that.
Yeah, I do need a running back here though. Um, Penny does share a bye, so I do need a running back
Who does
here.
Penny share
Um,
by with?
he shares a bye with Leonard Fournette. They're
I
both
thought there
11.
was all three of them. Yeah, I'd go Damian Pierce. I think is my
Yeah,
best
I mean that is an interesting
running
pick.
back.
I there are a couple other guys I like though. I do like Darren Henderson. I do like Ronald Jones. I do like Naeem Hines. Um, Damian Pierce, he's gonna be good. He is a rookie, so that is something
But he's
that
competing
does
with
strike my eye.
Marlon
I am
Mack.
gonna go with Damian Pierce here. I think that is a very solid pick. Houston does like to run the ball. I'm gonna take Damian Pierce here. I like that.
I mean, I don't see Damian Pierce losing the job, not winning that job against Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, no, I
Next,
agree.
we have back-to-back kickers in Pierce and Tucker. Rams defense, Kirk Cousins. I'm full on expecting Team 12 here to go kicker or something like that. So what I think I'm gonna do.
I mean, a good pick
is-
for you here. To me, Michael Gallup sitting right
That
there
is
at the
exactly
board.
what I was looking at. Michael Gallup, a guy you can immediately just sit on your IR and get your pick of whoever's in free agency.
That and also your wide receiver room is going to be stacked now.
I agree.
really
I think I'm
have-
gonna go Gallup. He's gonna be great once he comes back as the wide receiver 2 in Dallas.
And you can wait, by the way. It's not urgent that you need him on
Yeah,
your team.
for sure. Other guys I was kind of looking at. I was looking at a Mark Ingram who's gonna be strong to start the year with Kamara out. In terms of receivers, the main guy I was looking at was one of the New England guys, either Devontae Parker or Kobe Myers. But I agree with you there. The guy I was really eyeing was Michael Gallup, and I'm going to pick him. Niners D, Naheem Hines goes. I think I'm going to take my number one kicker. Just because why not? I don't really do kicker leagues, so I don't care that much. And it's Tyler Bass by a long shot. I don't know why Sleeper has him ranked out. In my eyes, he's one kicker in the league. So I'm going to take him.
No, I completely agree.
After that comes Jarvis Landry. Algier goes. Unfortunately, Michael. Then the Chargers.
Yeah, I was actually going to
Steve
pick Alec.
Fitz.
Yeah, I was going to go for him. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So I look at, the top wide receivers on the board. I have 4 wideouts. I'm good. I have 4 running backs. I'm good. Ideally here, I'm looking.
I'd look for wide receiver.
Ronald Jones could be good. Darrell Henderson could be really good.
You don't need more than 4 running backs, really.
But I really don't think I need another running back. I think I'm set there.
We've got rookies on the board with potential. George Pickens looked great in his first fantasy start.
Yeah, Christian Watson, George Pickens, for Pittsburgh.
Julio Jones.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take my kicker here. I'm looking. I see Matt Gay, Younghoe Koo, Brandon McManus. I'm gonna go a little bit surprised here. I'm gonna take Brandon McManus here. He's ranked really low, but I think he's gonna have a great year. The Denver air is nice and thin, long kicks. He's always been a good kicker. He's gonna get a lot of points this year, and I'm not a huge fan of Matt Gay.
After that goes MVS, Darrell Henderson, Christian Watson, Tua Tagovailoa, Irv Smith, Rondo Moore. Fortunately, no Fant, who I'm sure Michael's backup tight end. George Pickens.
Yeah, I mean here I'm
Rachaad
looking
White,
now at this point in the draft, I've fleshed out my entire team. I'm just looking at big boomer bust players, guys who might have a great season and who don't have the same bye. My team overall is pretty consistent. I don't really see any guys who are huge risks. Ideally, I would pick a running back here. There are really
running back?
none.
You only have 4 receivers, Michael.
I only have 3 receivers. That's right.
4. I
4.
would
Why
look
does it say-
at boomer bust guys. I mean, Jameson Williams right there. He can easily become wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
I don't mind Kenny Galladay. I think the upside.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. I'm not a fan of him. I see Jacoby Myers,
Yeah,
Devontae Parker.
the New England guys, obviously.
One
Mecole Hardman,
guy
I
who
don't
does
hate.
catch my eye though is DJ Chark. Yeah, we know he's good. If he can stay healthy, that would be big. I do like Alec Pierce here as well. I feel like he's gonna be the second wide receiver on the team, but he's gonna be available on the turn, I think.
Yes,
So I really don't need to reach and get him now. Um, I am gonna take, I think you're right in saying that Jameson Williams is a pick here. Top wide receiver, excuse me, and I'll take him.
after Jameson Williams goes Justin Fields, Tyler Higbee, Deshaun Watson, who I was kind of looking at. The
I
Packers
was too, but I
defense.
wasn't gonna draft him.
Yeah. I was just worried about. I have Jalen Hurts, who definitely has able to bust out.
Right,
Uh,
exactly. That's why I'm looking at Russell Wilson. I'm saying I don't need a quarterback.
Here,
Right
I'm
now.
going to take Devontae Parker. I think he's a wide receiver. I think he has some flex. Gallup's
Touchdown
injured,
threat.
so he's a wide receiver 5 while Gallup's on. Doesn't turn out to be a top receiver. I can always drop him when I bring Gallup back.
Hmm.
After that goes Julio, Matt Gay, back to me. I'm taking Mark Ingram. He's going to be running back 1 in Orleans to start the
Hmm.
year. Solid in the weeks Kamara missed last year. Definitely touchdown upside, flex playability, as well as ability, depending on how good he does,
Hmm.
especially with some injury concerns. Robinson, obviously Swift and Mix, their fair share of injury last couple years. Next goes Marlon Mack, Jahan Dotson, Jacoby Myers, David and Joku, and back to Michael at pick
Yeah, I mean
7.
here I'm looking ideally for a running back. Um, I
One
just think that would. What?
one thing I will look at for you is the Giants defense does match up quite well with the Bucks defense if you want to roster, but you can probably get them in the last round of the draft.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean I'm not a big fan of having two defenses. That's a lot. Um,
I value 2 defenses, 2 quarterbacks, or 2 tight ends personally, just
this is
because
true. I mean, who are the
defensive
tight ends are on the
flexibility
board?
here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll have my backup tight end available come the turn. Are we now? Yeah, he will be available. Um, I can definitely wait. One running back I do like a lot here. Um, yeah, one running back I do like a lot here is J.D. McKissick. Um, Chuba Hubbard could be a great pick here. Um, especially with McCaffrey's extreme liabilities. Because if he gets injured, Chuba Hubbard, he's gonna eat. Um, and I think, I mean, I think that will Chuba Hubbard actually do something? Probably not. And that's unfortunately what I don't need here. I have my running backs who are kind of a little boomer bust right now. I'm gonna take J.D. McKissick. He's gonna be more consistent, and I think I almost have to take him. So I'm gonna take J.D. McKissick here.
Next goes the
Um,
Saints defense. 4 kickers in a row. Cowboys defense, Colts defense, Kenny Galladay, Jameis in uh, there. Back to
Yeah, so
me.
right now I'm gonna snag my backup tight end. That's gonna be Austin Hooper. Um,
Yeah,
and Connor and I both know why.
Hooper's a great option as a backup. A lot of gotta be a solid tight end. Had a down year, but just 2 years ago with Matt Ryan, he was great. Top 10 end. He definitely has touch and upside with all the reports about them not loving Traylon, but find himself as a top option early in the season and a reliable option. Touch upside, I like him as
Mhm.
here. Um,
I mean, I think you need a quarterback here.
yeah, I'm not taking a backup. I don't think. Um, I don't know. As I just look through names, um, I think Mervyn Jones option on the Jaguars. Um, looking at Kenny Galladay, but just um, don't mind like guys. Um,
take Hayden Hurst, Robert Tunyon.
I think I'm gonna take Jamal Williams, Lions running back, mostly as a backup to Swift if Swift ever gets hurt. Just some safety nets, and he's probably gonna go deep soon. Maybe not on this turn here. Definitely deep soon. Want to lose out on him. Just in happy with my here for receiver, I'm taking Romeo Dubs. A lot of great reports coming out of the Packers camp that he had a great connection with Rodgers. That wide receiver one job is everywhere possible.
It's anyone's job. You know what I'm saying?
We have two more kickers go: DJ Chark, Davis Price, and back on the board.
Yeah. So back to me here. I have 5 running backs. You know, you look at the board almost, and there's one guy who catches my eye who I like a lot. I already mentioned him. That would be
Covered.
Alec Pierce. I'm a huge Alec Pierce fan. I love what I've been hearing out of the Colts camp. And I think that he's an excellent wide receiver. He could end up being, wide receiver. He's wide receiver 2 probably. And Pittman, Alec Pierce. I think is a big red zone threat too. He's a rookie. I think he's super underrated. I'm gonna take Alec Pierce here.
Love it.
I like him a lot.
We got Brian Robinson, Denver Broncos defense, Trevor Lawrence, Sammy Watkins, Matt Ryan, Gus Edwards, Odell Beckham Jr., who I was looking at. The Patriots defense.
Oh!
Osborne and Mac Jones.
I was just about to take Mac Jones. I was just about to take him. So that kind of ruins my plan. It's okay, of course. I always have a backup plan, and I'm gonna take a guy who I've talked about a lot. I'm gonna take Zach Wilson here. I have a lot of confidence already in Russell Wilson. Zach Wilson, I feel like he's got a lot of potential.
Also, the Wilsons.
Yeah, and I have 2 Wilson quarterbacks, different bye week, and who knows? Zach Wilson could come back and be, a fantastic fantasy quarterback.
Chuba Hubbard goes. White, Foreman, Checho.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to draft a QB here because, Jones,
at this point, it's
Tannehill,
I am looking at Donovan Peoples-Jones, essentially. I am looking at Tate Hill because he has that trick play upside for
Jamison Crowder, not a bad pick.
I think I'm going to take
Robbie Anderson still up there. Isaiah McKenzie.
I think I am going to take Will Fuller. I believe he will sign with the team at some point. He obviously has huge upside. I mean, he's been a top 10 round pick for a while. And obviously, and if he doesn't ever pick up on a team, oh well, it's the last round of the draft. But I'm going to go Will Fuller to fill out my team. And final pick in the draft is Chris.
Yeah, and there you go. I mean, let's just run through our teams really quick. So on my team, in round order, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Leonard Fournette, Darren Waller, Courtland Sutton, Russell Wilson, Cordero Patterson, Rashad Penny, Alan Lazard, Tampa Bay defense, Damian Pierce, Brandon McManus, Jamison Williams, J.D. McKissick, Austin Hooper, Alec Pierce, Zach Wilson. And for Connor, he had the 11th pick, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Pitts, DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Hurts, Hunter Renfrow, Christian Kirk, James Robinson, Buffalo Bills defense, Michael Gallup, Tyler Bass, Devontae Parker, Mark Ingram, Jamal Williams, Romeo Dubs, and Will Fuller.
I think we're matching up in the championship in this league.
That's what I was about to say. You really have 2 all-star teams right here to me.
In terms of other auto-drafted teams to look at, I
Yeah, team 2 and 7 selected. Team 2 selected all running backs in the first 4 rounds. Team 7 selected 4 straight wide receivers.
Not too much I found here. I do not mind, but A. Dillon and Walker as your top two.
Honestly, I like their first 3 picks a lot. After that, I
You know what?
don't
I
like it
like
at
Team
all.
8 a lot. Because you
I
have
think
Najee
Team
Harris
8
and
is
James
actually built
Conner, then
really
Kamara gets
solidly.
back. Pittman, Hollywood, Bateman.
I don't love the second wide receiver option, though.
Bateman or Hollywood, I think fine wide receiver.
Yeah.
Also have Choke, as you mentioned, Myers, Zach Oath.
Yeah, no, I
You
really
have-
don't like any of
I-
these other teams,
He
though.
has a Kyler Oates Hollywood back, which is very interesting. That's the main team I'd look at. Team 3, I don't mind. I wish instead of Miles Sanders they took a receiver. Michael Thomas might not be ready to start the year, but Henry Buckley are there. Goddard to find tight.
Woods, it wasn't a bad
Thomas,
pick, though.
that could be a league-winning draft depending on how Thomas, Buckley, and Dobbins come back.
I think we're meeting in the championship, though. I think that's what it comes down
Team
to.
4, I don't mind. Austin Eckler, then only Pollard is running back.
Yeah, I just don't like the second running back is Damian Harris.
Yeah, I don't love that. But that looks like a team that I would almost draft. I wouldn't take A.J. Brown, but Williams, Dalton Schultz is good picks there. Broncos defense.
I gotta say, though, looking at our teams, I think that the weaknesses on my team, that second running back position could be weak, but I really don't think it will be. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it could be. I don't think it will be, though.
I don't love your flex option outside of Latin. I'm a good guy.
I do agree to an extent, but I feel like I have enough guys who are such boom bust guys, which Alec Pierce, Hooper, McKissick, Jameson Williams, like those guys could be boom busts. And if Corn Sutherland, I have that Cortland Sutton, Russell Wilson stack, so I am banking on the Denver Broncos being a good offensive team.
I'm quite happy with
and I do like Cortland Sutton. I am pretty high on him, so I do think that week 1 coming out to start, I think I have a really solid team. I really have no weaknesses, maybe outside that running back 1, but frankly, I think it'll be pretty good. Looking at your team, I actually think your team is a little bit more solid. I think the wide receiver position is a little weak, but it's gonna make do very well. Your running backs are obviously extremely solid. I think that you have a bunch of good wide receivers that you can rely on. I would have liked to see Jalen Hurts have a backup quarterback.
Well, I
just
mean,
in
my
case.
immediate thing is put Gallup on. I put Will Fuller on and then I can pick up a backup quarterback or backup tight end. I don't see the need to draft one. And any of the guys that are on the only one I would have drafted, I think, out of the last 5 off the board is maybe Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I don't see a backup after fine. Depending on the suspension, who doesn't I could.
Connor, this is a PPR draft, by the way.
It is a PPR draft.
Yeah. It's right at the top.
Was it not supposed to be a PPR draft?
No, I thought you said it was standard.
No, I was talking about some stuff that if it was standard.
Oh, like a hypothetical. Okay.
Like
No, I
if it
got
was
you.
standard, I'd have Nick Chubb on my team, and I would have gotten Mike Evans.
Right.
Wouldn't take standard. Too much possession. Same. Probably wait. But yeah.
Overall, I think we did a pretty darn good job. And again, Connor and I are very experienced, but I mean, you saw us. I mean, this is obviously a much more relaxed draft. We're not actually,
Got a big board.
but
Do you have a big
I
board?
do have a big blackboard right there. I have my ADP list right here.
Yeah, I was
So-
kind of just going off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. It turned out pretty well. But I have my ADP. This is the most important thing that everyone needs to have for their draft. Who is going where in most drafts? This will tell you, hey, this guy is most likely going to be available where you are. Who are you going to pick? When are you going to pick them? Live your life by this, not by what ESPN says who the top guys are. I mean, Connor, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, obviously, different sites are different in terms of player rank. I see Mike Williams a lot lower, like, um, in case you don't have to take him in the 4th round. I see guys like Justin Herbert lower than he sites.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Rodgers higher placement. There's a lot of
I
things
do
that
have
you
to
have to
say
look
though, I like our drafts a lot, and I think that for me, if I were so what you did, I like a lot. The only thing I don't like, if it were me drafting, is I don't like Jalen Hurts as a quarterback because I get nervous when I think he's gonna be great, but I get a little bit nervous when I have like a quarterback who may not be great. So for me, I'd probably wait another round, draft a lower
Jalen
quarterback.
Hurts was not great last year. Yeah, would you say that? Yet
Huh?
Jalen Hurts was not a great quarterback last year. He had a lot of interceptions.
I know,
Yet he
and
was
that's
a
what's
top
hard to.
6 fantasy guy. Like, he is a good fantasy quarterback. I might have my qualms about how good the Eagles will be. He's
Yeah.
gonna put up points.
I think it's part of me, wanting to draft Tom Brady every time.
You
Um,
turned down Brady for Russ this time.
I did, but that's because that I knew that taking Brady would be an overreach of a pick, and Brady wasn't coming back to me. So
I think Brady and Russ are. If Brady, we both have Brady ranked. Russ, I don't think you have to, especially quarterback. You don't have to draft on there when you know neither of them get back, but you have them both rated higher. I take
mhm.
Brady if Brady is.
Yeah, I did get a little bit nervous though when I heard Brady might not start week 1.
He's starting week. Bowles said he said a 10-day thing that was.
Mhm. Anyways, there you have it. A mock draft for everybody. This is how you do it. This is how you draft, folks. You need to do your homework. You need to do it right, and you'll end up with a good draft like us. But if you go out there and you don't know what you're doing and you just think I'm gonna figure it out, that's how you make mistakes. So, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you to Connor for joining us here today, and we'll be back soon. The draft is coming up Thursday night, which is probably gonna end up being tonight. But, anyways, have
We'll
a
do
great
a
day.
review episode probably, right? All right.